You know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now. Bam! Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host and minister, Jonathan Simmons. We thank God for those of you who decided to tune in and join us here on another episode of the Real Talk Sports Show. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining us today. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Metro Atlanta. And again, we thank God for those of you who have decided to tune in and check us out here this evening as we again broadcast to you live from just outside Atlanta, Georgia. Thank God for those of you who tuned in on all various platforms. We appreciate you. And like I said, it's been one of them days, boys and girls. It's amazing to me how we just always have a little drama going on. When I have a big show, I got a bunch of guests scheduled today, and of course, everything's going crazy. I tried to get in here today, and I moved into a new home. And I tell people it's beautiful, lovely place. It's an actual home. Me and my daughter rented condos and apartments, but this is the first time since we left our home that we're back in a home. So it's great. So I have a backyard, huge backyard. And even though I'm in the suburbs in Clayton County, we got nature on and popping, and it's great. But as I mentioned, when you have nature, things happen. And evidently, because we had not been, because the house had not been rented for a while, local wildlife said, "Hey, good news. We're going to inhabit this location ourselves." So what we have a situation, unfortunately, is that we have a bird family. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against birds. I love birds, love animals. But what has happened is that a family of birds, I think they're thrashers, have made a nest literally in the bushes right near my house. And so what's happened today is I guess they recently have a new arrival. And unfortunately, the new arrival, when they were trying to move him from one bush to another, it ended up falling down. And so now this created a great amount of concern and angst for all of the animal family, the bird family over there. And I think these birds are thrashers. I think that's what they're called. And suddenly, as I was trying to enter my home, it's this wild scene because now the baby bird has been dropped right on our doorstep, right in front of the door. I'm trying to get in. Um, the mama bird is going wild. She's called Papa Bird. Now he swooped in. And these birds are tiny, but I mean they're still making a lot of racket. And so now the Papa Bird has decided he's going to move in and make a move, and he has come in and in fact perched right next to my daughter's car, parked in front of the driveway. Her old car's not running, and he is squawking like no tomorrow. And so I guess she's like saying, "Calling the troops. We got an invader." Talking about me trying to come in the house and affect the baby. So now the neighbors next door, the other thrashers, they get the call. They try to move in. And I guess one of the guys was not too friendly with Papa Thrasher that is in my domain. And next thing you know, there was like a bird brawl going on. They're dive bombing, they're squawking, and I can see the mama bird peeking out of the bush where the nest is. And like I said, guys, it was a crazy scene. I'm trying to get in my house. You got the show tonight. I got the show. I got some big time guests coming on. And I'm like, hey man, I got no time for this. But the birds are like, good news. We're gonna be here and we're gonna act a fool. So finally I had to get my daughter to actually open up the garage door so I can get in. I'm hoping that by tomorrow morning that they will have rescued the newest arrival and got back into the nest. But again, just a wild scene as I'm coming in as it was Attack of the Birds. Now, I guess the other thing too, they didn't know. I'm really counting. Everybody had like their little things that kind of a phobia. Well, mine is birds. I probably shouldn't tell people that because people probably prank me with that. But yeah, when I was a little kid, my mom took me to see there's a movie. You guys have to Google it up called The Birds that came out back in the '60s. That's how old I am. And I went, and after that movie, I was no more good. So I've always had to be a little skittish around birds. So I guess they said, hey, we know about this guy, so we're going to attack. Anyway, a wild scene today, but nevertheless, we're here. The show must go on. We appreciate all those of you, like I said, who popped in to join us here on the show this evening. Now, we're going to get back to basics. We're going to get back to some of the things that we are used to doing here on the show. You guys know that, I do something. The show's theme used to be SAM Sports, um, artistry. When I say artistry, bringing people from different genres of the fine arts and ministry, because I'm a minister, and we used to bring in people from the nonprofits, people that have various ministries around that would kind of pop in and let you guys know the good stuff they were doing around the community. And we're going back to that today, as we're going to bring in some folks that are doing some big stuff in McDonough, and also a legendary jazz musician, Joey Somerville, has a big fundraiser coming up this weekend that hopefully you guys are listening will be able to get to it and to attend. And so, that's what we got coming on later on in the broadcast. And of course, at the very end of the broadcast, you guys, we talk football, and more football. D. Orlando Ledbetter will be back now. He's going to be coming on, and it'll probably be the last time he's going to be on until the actual summer camp starts, because there's really nothing for him to do at the Falcons camp and nothing really much to report. So he's going to take a little vacation, and but just wants to make sure to come on today and give you guys the latest and greatest updates from the OTA. So look for D. Orlando Ledbetter to join us in the later half of the program. While we're waiting for the lovely Tree Dolman, the queen, to pop on, we're going to talk a little Braves baseball. You know, there's a lot of engine now going on about the Braves, a lot of, fear. People are ready to jump off the rail. They're thinking, OMG, what's going on with the Braves? But I got to tell you something. I mean, at the end of the day, don't get me wrong. I want the Braves to have an outstanding team this year, as they've really done for the previous years. But I'd rather have them kind of start off poorly and finish strong than what we've seen the last couple of years, where they were just one of the dominant teams in baseball. And then when it came to postseason, especially against our arch nemesis, the Phillies, womp, 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 they kind of didn't do anything. Another thing is, we're a third of the season in, and oh, by the way, the Braves are still, with all the losing, I think 5 or 6, with all the bad hitting, with all of the stuff going on, the Braves are 33-24. I mean, it's not like these guys are, 10, 15 games under 500. Now, granted, the Phillies are trying to run away with it. They're 42-19, and the Braves find themselves 7 games behind the Phillies. But at the end of the day, remember, they were 10.5 back, I believe, in August when they won the World Series. So again, I'd rather have them playing well early. Rather have them play well late than early. I'm just saying. All right, guys, when we do this show, we bring on one of the most beautiful women in sports talk radio or TV. We simply call her the Queen. Tree Dolman is back in the building. Tree, welcome back.
Hello, Jonathan. Hi, everyone.
How you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Well, I survived the attack of the birds.
Yep. You survived what?
The attack of the birds. Before you came on, I explained to everybody that now that we moved out into this nice house in the suburbs here, we have a big backyard, and we have a tree, a nice sized tree in the front yard. And we also have these 2 big bushes that kind of are sentinels in front of our front door. Well, the house had evidently not been rented for probably about 6 or 7 months. And, when you have wildlife, they figure, hey, the humans are not around. So unbeknownst to me, I guess the birds are called thrashers. They actually set up a nest inside one of the bushes near my house. Now, it wasn't so much like we moved in, it was a little bit chilly. We didn't hear anything. But lately, like even when I do my spiritual broadcast on Sunday, people say, oh, we hear the birds in the background, so nice. Why come in today? There was a lot of chaos around the front door. And I've been dive bombed before by the birds. And evidently, a new arrival has come, or a couple of new arrivals. And one of them fell out of the nest in front of our front stoop, which created a panic by the birds. Papa Bird planted himself by my daughter's car. He's chirping. All of a sudden, a couple of guys from across the way come over, and they get into a little bird fight, and they're dive bombing. Bottom line is, I couldn't even get into my house about 2 or 3 minutes before my daughter opened up the driveway door. So anyway, that was my fun entry into the home.
Very
And on top of that, I have a fear of birds. Yeah, I was a little kid. My mom took me to a movie called The Bird that spooked me out. So my family knows that like that this was like a major situation for me out there. I'm like, okay, y'all need to go away. Scram. So anyway,
yeah,
how was your weekend?
I never really looked
Enough
at
about me.
birds in a fearful way, but I've heard other people that are afraid of birds. Dwayne Wade, he's afraid of birds. And I had a situation. So now I'm not afraid of them, but I just realized that they can attack.
Yeah. So I feel better now that other people like myself have run afoul of the mad attacks of birds. But yeah, it was just really crazy. I mean, they were making so much noise. When I came in the house, my daughter said, Dad, I was wondering what's going on out there. She said, I heard this chirping and screeching. I said, that was them trying to get me to get away from my own front door. So anyway.
Well, I'm glad that you made it through and got in safely.
Yes, got in safely. Well, tonight we have a couple of guests that will be joining us very, very briefly to kind of give people an update on what they're doing. We're going to bring in some guys who are doing a big event down here in McDonough, where they will be having a play that's based on the history of the Lorraine Motel. So people don't know about the Lorraine Motel. That is unfortunately the place where Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis. But before that, it was a legendary hotel where people would come from civil rights and entertainment, and they would have break bread and discuss all types of things that are going on in the community. And so they're going to be having a play talking about that in McDonough. So they're going to talk to us a little bit about that at the 8:15 hour. And then 8:30, a jazz legend, Joey Somerville, will be on briefly to talk about. He has a big fundraiser coming up in Atlanta as well. So we look forward to having both of those guys on to talk to us really briefly about what they have going on in the community. So, Well, I'm going to take an early break, Tree, because when we get back, I'm going to bring these guys on at the 8:15 hour. And then once we finish, a lot of excitement. I shouldn't say a lot of excitement, a lot of talk and chatter now in the WNBA. It is hot. So we'll talk about that when we come back from the break. All right, guys, you're watching the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you, and thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports. Ha ha.
All right, guys, we're back here. You're listening and watching to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast you live just outside Atlanta, Georgia. And we thank God for all of you, again, who have tuned in to join us here on this broadcast. We're going to jump on here with our first guest of the evening. and they are doing a great play in the South Side, McDonough, which we are located in the South Side. And so we're going to bring him on. Let him introduce himself to you right now.
Hey,
Marvin, are you there, sir?
I'm here. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for having me on. My name is Marvin Coleman, of course. I'm with Inkwell Pictures, and we do have a great stage play that's happening right in Stockbridge, so just outside of McDonough in Atlanta. It's called The Lorraine, and it's about the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee.
I mean, kind of what was the genesis of that? I was telling our co-host Tree before we came on that, that Lorraine Motel obviously is a legendary place. I mean, we associate with a lot of sadness because it was Dr. King assassinated, but you're telling me that it has a rich history well beyond that. Tell us a little about that.
That's the biggest part of it is the rich history. A lot of people don't know that it was located a block away from Stack Records. So when you're talking about artists like Isaac Hayes, who lived in Memphis at the time, and Aretha Franklin, and all the different artists, Otis Redding, who went through Stack and were individuals who were a part of Stack Records, you're talking about a host of people who stayed right at the Lorraine Motel because it was just a block away. So they would eat food there. They would stay there also because it was a Green Book motel. So they would stay there during their visit. And there's a lot of documented photo history of these artists there at the Lorraine.
Man, that's great stuff. And you're bringing this all down to the South Side. That's right.
We're bringing it to the South Side. A lot of people are like, how come nobody ever brings anything to the South Side? But you guys have, there in Stockbridge, of course, the Stockbridge Amphitheater and some great venues there. This venue is the Henry County Performing Arts.
Hey, guys, we're here at the T20 tournament. It's the women's cricket. No.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, a little production error. Give us a reboot on that, Melvin. Sorry about that. Go ahead, kind sir.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, so we're bringing it right down here to the South Side because a lot of people say, hey, you don't bring things down to the South Side. But we're here to bring it to the South Side there. We did 8 shows last year in Atlanta, in the Austell area, actually, of Atlanta. And so now we're working down in Stockbridge to bring you a great show.
Like I said, man, I'm excited that you guys are bringing it down here because this is kind of my backyard when you're talking about the idea of doing something here on the South Side. Tree's very fortunate. She's up on the North Side, so they get all the nice stuff, and we kind of get some of the leftovers. But we appreciate you coming on down here and hooking us up. Let's go to social media right here, and we got some shout outs for you. We got For Love the Game. I guess that's an applause there. I can't really read it that good. Tree, what does that look like? Do I read it right? What is that? Is it J?
Says what up?
What up? Okay, there we go. So I appreciate you. I'll see if I got the flyer here. Let's see if we can do a little production. Let's go to the videotape here. And let's see. Bam, there's the flyer. There it is.
There it is. There it is. Henry County Performing Arts Center, Fairview. We're doing 2 shows on that day. So we'll have an early show, which is about 2 o'clock. And then we'll have a 7 o'clock show to really wrap it out. And it's going to, like I said, 1,000 seats in this venue. It's brand new as of just only a couple of years old there. And so it's a great venue, something great for shows.
Okay, how can people get tickets or find out more about it? You have like a website or Eventbrite or even social media where people can follow.
We have all of that. So if they just typed in LorraineStagePlay.com, that's going to take them to the website where they can learn more information and purchase tickets. They can go to Lorraine Stage Play on Instagram and Lorraine Stage Play on Facebook, and they'll be able to find out and get links to tickets and information as well, too. And we're running an early bird special right now. So for individuals who log in right now to purchase tickets, those tickets are $35. But if they put in the discount code room 306, which is the room that Dr. King stayed in upon his last visit there, they'll get an additional $10 off of the tickets. So time is to get those tickets now.
I like that. Now, the Tree and I, if we want to go, do we get the Happy People guest host discount? I mean,
you get the Happy People guest host discount. Absolutely. You just come on in, ask for me. I'll be there. You'll see me in the black suit. Just ask for me. I'll take care of it.
There we go. Well, listen, Marvin, appreciate you and appreciate your brother Melvin, who's doing great stuff with the Atlanta Black Chambers. I think I went to black here. There I am. I'll pop back in. I appreciate both of you guys for what you're doing. We look forward to having you guys back on, of course, being a part of the play when it comes up. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. Thank you so much for allowing me an opportunity to come on board.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great stuff going on there, Tree. It's always good to. I like a little bit of the fine arts every now and then, so pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's wonderful that they're doing the play. I visited the Lorraine Hotel and a lot of history there. Of course, when I went, we were just really looking at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s room and the places where he was at, and unfortunately, how he lost his life there. But I'm happy to see that they are doing a stage play and talking about the history of the hotel before that, and I'm sure that's a part of it as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really phenomenal that they're doing that play. I love stage plays. I really do.
No doubt. Yeah, fine arts are always good. Like you say, again, it's good that they can kind of bring the history of the positive things that went on in the hotel to let people know that, again, it was a rich history of that before the unfortunate tragedy. We'll shift gears a little bit here, go to some basketball. Y'all have been, when I say y'all, I'm talking about the ladies, have been grabbing the headlines. A little bit of controversy. We had a hard foul on Caitlin Clark, and now everybody's saying the narrative is from air quotes the media and social media that somehow the current WNBA players are hating on Caitlin Clark. Do you think that this is really much ado about nothing? I mean, what do you think is? Look, I see that smile. Look at those pearly whites. Isn't that beautiful, boys? Look at that smile right there.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts?
I think, yes, you definitely have some players who are jealous at Caitlin Clark, because if you look at it, this league has been going on for, I think this is the 27th year in the WNBA, or 28th. I think it's the 27th year. But anyway, she is coming in and getting all of this great attention that some of the other players would have liked to have had on their behalf. But I think also that a lot of players are appreciative of Caitlin Clark as well. I think more players are more appreciative because of her recognition and because of what she's bringing is helping them. It's kind of like when Tiger Woods was coming into golf, and all of the golfers love Tiger now because all of their paychecks are much higher because of Tiger Woods. And I think that that's something that we're going to see start happening with Caitlin Clark. Now the WNBA, they're flying charter. I don't know if that's due to Caitlin Clark, but who knows, right? There's just so many things that are happening because of Caitlin Clark. And of course, we know that the media, they're talking about every single thing that happens with Caitlin Clark. You know that she's being watched with bifocals, by binoculars. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I couldn't think about that. But anyway, everything that she does, she's being watched for. And so as players in the WNBA, they have to also recognize that. But at the same token, you don't expect them to change the way that they're playing the game. We know that the WNBA is a very physical game. The foul that Kennedy made on her was a cheap shot. She says she did it because Caitlin gave her a cheap shot, and so that was her cheap shot back. And that's just the type of player she is. I don't know if a lot of people remember with just different things in her history of the WNBA. She's had some issues. So I think that the media, they have a right to talk about it. I do think, yes, some of the players are jealous or hating in a sense. And I also think that, yes, the majority of the players are happy that Caitlin Clark has come to the league and that they're getting all this attention and they're getting more televised games and everything that's happening, because that is eventually going to bring more monies into their pockets as well as to the WNBA.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. At the end of the day, I mean, I think as much ado about nothing. It's like I told people, I mean, just good, bad, and different in this country. We can be very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Racist is not the word I'm looking for. Is we can be very clannish sometimes. I'll use that word. You got a group of people that like a certain person or certain type of people, where they're from, area of the country, and you have other people who don't like it. And you got a situation where like I said, this is history repeated. I mean, we went through the same thing with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. It's the same type of situation. You got a guy coming from the Midwest, a guy that looked like the typical basketball player of that day, with the kind of fluffy hair, coming from, a non-urban kind of farm kind of situation, playing for Indiana State. He turned down going to Indiana, and here we have Magic Johnson from East Lansing, and you got the skills, the flamboyance, and so this was kind of the whole thing, almost like Hoosiers in real time. And fortunately for Larry Bird and for Magic Johnson, and more importantly for the NBA, because people forget, back in 1979, yes, guys, back in '79, when these guys came to the league, the NBA was not as bad as the WNBA, but they were on fumes. People didn't want to go. You were right in the middle of all types of drug problems throughout the league. And there was some prejudice because most of the teams were African American. So there was just fans weren't watching. Games were on tape delay. But when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came, that rivalry, whether we like it or not, all the things about the Great White Hope, the bottom line is that these guys came in, and to their credit, very much like Caitlin Clark and very much like Angel Reese, they're like, look, we're not enemies here. Okay, we're competitors. Yes, we're fierce competitors. But at the end of the day, we're here to play basketball. And like you said, the biggest thing about all this, it is like the Tiger Woods effect. Everybody getting paid. This is real time. The rising tide lifts all boats. So I think it's much ado about nothing. I think that hard fouls are going to happen. That happens in almost any sport. When a rookie comes in, the players are going to make the rookies prove their salt. That's how it works. You're not going to come in and let a rookie come in here and just waltz in and dominate. They're like, hey, you may dominate, but you're going to have to.
Oh yeah, it's a part of
sports works. Right? I mean, and listen, and here's the thing: this happens at every level. This happens in high school. This happens in college. This happens in semi-pro. When a hot shot or well-acclaimed rookie comes in, the veterans will go, okay, we're going to see what they have.
Well, okay, yeah. It tries to happen at every level. I will say my freshman year in college, I didn't tolerate it. So that's that on that. I wasn't letting the upperclassmen tell me what to do. It wasn't happening personally. But I know I'm a different breed.
She said, thanks, but it's not happening, boys. She said, you have barked up, literally, you are barking up the wrong tree. Literally. Yeah, whatever you're trying to do is not happening here. But and again, there are some rookies like that that are just, their thing is, I'm not doing it. Shaq said the same thing. Whatever they're trying to do to me, he's like, hey man, deuces. It's not happening. So well, I tell you what is happening. I see in the green room, I see a gentleman who is legendary in his own right. He is not a one, but two-time Super Bowl champion. He is a member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame. He's also a member of the National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame, and he's the first ever Carolina Panthers defensive draft selection. You know what I'm talking about, guys. The one and only number 38, Tyrone Poole, is back in the building. Mr. Poole, what's going on, sir?
How we doing? Everybody doing all right? Hey, Jonathan, you need to get a shot. Get a shot of that back drop back there. I need everybody to see that.
I'm about to do it, brother. We get the wide screen. Bam.
Mindset, baby. A mindset. That's how champion.
There he is.
That's how you're going to win in life, people. It's a mindset. You got to set your mind. The Atlanta Falcons got to set their mind. The Hawks got to set their minds. The Atlanta Braves got to set their mind if they want to win championship. They got to set their mind. And the players got to have a mindset of champion. Man, let me stop. Y'all got me going into a sermon.
Hey, that's what it's all about, sir. It's about motivation where we can get it. Okay, now before we go to a break, good and well, anytime we talk about controversy, who's got to chime in. What's he saying about me, Tree?
He said, preacher, are you on meds? Her own teammates are not having her back. Clark is being targeted. Yeah, that's the fact, Todd.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, I can remember when, like I said, Tree hit the example on the head. I remember when Tiger Woods came in, and Tiger Woods, they asked him about, he was playing, I think, in his first U.S. Open, and they said, what's his expectation? He said, to win. And a guy who was, I always remember the interview, he was a 2 or 3-time US Open winner. And he just sat back and said, really? Okay, we'll see. And of course, Tiger went out. And I think in that tournament, either he won it or he placed in the top 3. And of course, the rest is history. So we shall see. Miss Clark is going to have a rough road this year. But to her credit, so far, so good. 15 points a game. She's doing well. Angel Reese has got a couple of shots. I saw her get a little boat in the neck. Yeah, I mean, Tyrone, let me ask, did you ever, first of all, True said she didn't have to deal with that. I guess she tuned them up quick. Did you have a problem when you came in at any level as a rookie player or as a freshman on a team where they kind of try to bully you or at least pry you on to see what you're made of?
When you say bully, what do you mean?
No, bully's not the right word. When they kind of tested you to kind of see, how you were going to respond, whether it be a prank, whether it be making you do some stuff. And did you ever go through that situation at any level?
Hazing?
Yeah, it's like a hazing type thing.
Yeah. They may not do it as much now because everybody, mindset is a little bit watered down to a point. But when I came in, hazing was a part of it, man. That was the initiation, right? It wasn't never to try to test you, to damage you mentally or try to hurt you physically. It was just, hey, you know what? We're just going to see what kind of person you are, right? And so but I did it. And actually, one time, real quick, they tied me up, right? Is when I first got to Carolina with my rookie year. And we used to practice in I forgot the city, but it's in South Carolina. Winthrop College. We used to go there to practice, right? And I stayed in Charlotte. So it was probably like about a 30-minute drive to Winthrop to do practice. And I believe that's the name of the city. But anyways, one day after practice, right, I wasn't paying attention. And Dom Capers brings us up, and you know how everybody take a knee, the coach standing up talking. And I started seeing people like forming around me, right? I wasn't paying no attention, man. I'm like, just watching the coach and everything. He's coming to the end of, getting ready to release us. So he said, all right, guys, that's it. See y'all in the meeting or something like that. And everybody would get up and, we put our hands together in the middle. And all of a sudden they grabbed me. Everybody grabbed me, man. They grabbed me and they took me over to the goalpost, right? And they took the not duct tape, but the white tape. And, they took my helmet out of my hand, threw it down, put my hands around the goalpost, and they taped my hands, man. Have some tape with my hands. Like I'm trying to pull, but it's too many guys, And so they left me out there, man. And the trainer came back out there and cut me loose. And now I'm like, what time is it? What time is it? I pretty much don't miss dinner to a point, and I'm hustling to get dinner. And but yeah. It was hazing, it was fun, but at the moment I didn't like it because it's making me late. I'm out there by myself, but at the end of the day, it was just part of the initiation, man. Just to, I didn't go in and whine and cry and all that stuff. It's just part of the game, but you can't do that stuff now, man. So people, you hurt me mentally, and I've been bruised ever since. So, that's just
unbelievable. All right, guys, we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to bring on a jazz legend. So you got to keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
AV Pride of Fayetteville is
is proud to present Jazz Under the Stars, a special benefit concert this Friday, June 7th at 6 p.m., featuring me, Joey Somerville. Come join us for this special benefit as we celebrate AV Pride's 25 years of service to the community. It's all happening this Friday, June 7th at the Peninsula, Town at Trilith in Fayetteville. Get your tickets now by going to the events page at avpride.com. That's the events page at avpride.com.
That guy was our guest that's coming up right here. We're going to get the live man himself, Mr. Joey Somerville, legendary jazz musician, joining us for the very first time on the Real Talk Sports Show. Joey, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Hey, man, it is good to see you. I think the last time I saw you, man, it was at an event. It's got to be at least 7 or 8 years ago. It's been a good minute. Yeah, I think it might have been something that Felicia Johnson might have been throwing. But it has been a minute, sir, and you've been traveling all over the world, right?
Yeah, I'm a little jet lagged in this moment. I just got back from Spain. I came in this afternoon. I was in Spain this morning, morning and Spain is 6 hours ahead of Atlanta time. So I'm a little turned around. I'm a little crispy around the edges right now, but I'm good. I'm still standing. I'm sitting at this moment. Yeah.
Well, listen, tell us real quick, because I know you're trying to get some rest and get ready, but let people know real quick about what you got going on coming up here in Atlanta.
Well, I'm very excited. This weekend, Friday night,
I think we lost your volume, Joey, for a second. All right. Are we lost the volume? I don't hear anything.
No, I don't hear anything.
No. All right, Joe. I don't know if you can still hear me, but we got no volume on you, sir. Yeah, I think you hit your mute button. All right. Well, I'm not sure what happened with Joey, but are you there, Joey? Yeah, we still can't hear. All right. Well, we're not quite sure what's going on with Joey's audio, but before we're gonna let him go now, but we'll let you guys hear the commercial one more time about the event, because we somehow do not have his audio right now. So we're gonna go ahead and let the commercial play, and then we'll get back to more of the Real Talk Sports Show as we continue to chop up here. Here's a commercial of what Joey's got going on here in Atlanta.
AV Pride of Fayetteville is proud to present Jazz Under the Stars, a special benefit concert this Friday, June 7th at 6 p.m., featuring me, Joey Somerville. Come join us for this special benefit as we celebrate AV Pride's 25 years of service to the community. It's all happening this Friday, June 7th at the Peninsula, Town at Trilith in Fayetteville. Get your tickets now by going to the events page at avpride.com. That's the events page at avpride.com.
All right, I'm not sure if this is Joey here. Joey, let me see if I can get you to say goodbye to everyone before you pop off here. I see someone in the green room. Joey, is that you? Yeah, he's still having some trouble. All right, well, we'll get Joey back on another time, and hopefully he'll be able to join us, and we can really come in nice and clear. All right, man, until the next time, God bless and take care. Yeah, a little excitement there, Tyrone. I was telling Tree before you came on that in fact I had a little situation with I was attacked by some birds. See, I know you from out in the country, you have no problem with that, but I definitely had a little problem with the birds. All right, guys, we're going to take another little quick commercial break, and then we'll be back as we continue to talk some sports here in the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll talk about what's going on. We want to know who you are picking in the NBA Finals. Do you like the Mavericks? Or you like the Celtics to finally take home the NBA championship? We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
We're back here, the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me is the man who mastered the mindset and teach you how to work that thing, Mr. Tyrone Poole, and the lovely and always beautiful Queen, Miss Tree Dolman. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who are you picking in the NBA Finals to win? Do you like the Boston Celtics to finally break through and win, or do you think it's Luka's time? The Dallas Mavericks are going to take it home. Tree, ladies first. What do you think?
You know, it's interesting because I think both teams are playing very well right now, and that's what I look at. But with this one, I'm going to have to go with the Boston Celtics over the Dallas Mavericks. I think that the Dallas Mavericks are playing great, and they definitely have the opportunity, but I just think Boston will be too much.
Mr. Tyrone Poole, who might you think, sir? You like the Celtics or the Mavericks?
Go with Tree and go with the Celtics.
All right. Well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do the hat trick because it would be only wrong that a man who was born and raised in New England would go for anybody but the Boston Celtics. So I think all of us agree Celtics are going to be a tough out. Jaylen Brown and, you know, they just this is a tough team. And I think that they're going to prove once and for all that they are worthy to win championships. I think Jason Tatum is tired of people talking about him not being able to perform in postseason play. So I think that dynamic duo is going to knock off the other dynamic duo of Luka Doncic and, of course, Kyrie Irving. I think it's going to be a close series, but I look for the Celtics to win in 6 games. You know, I think that Brown and Tatum are going to be a little bit too much for these guys. But listen, I know Hawks fans that are watching this feel some kind of way. You guys are kind of in your feelings because you're saying, hey, you know, we kind of traded Luka for trade, which is, I want to make this clear again. That's technically not true. They actually traded Trey, and they also got another lottery type pick, which was a guy just did not pan out here. So if in fact he had panned out, then no one would, I think, would be saying so much about this. And keep in mind, folks, Trey got the Eastern Conference Finals first. It's hard to believe it was just 3 years ago that Trey was the talk of the NBA, and everybody was talking about the Hawks being just maybe a player away. And who knows? Had Trey not gotten injured, they might have pressed it to 7 games or even lucked on got to the final. So Atlanta fans, stop being delusional. Quit hating on Trey, and let's see if we can kind of get the right pieces involved for us to get to a championship here right now. Even though they said that Trey did have a tweet today that simply letting everybody know to expect the unexpected. But we're not quite sure what that means, but it's out there. Yeah, I think everybody's in agreement. Celtics knocking off the Mavs. Let me just ask you a question, Trey. I know you talk about, hey, the Celtics will win. What do you think is the real key for them to be able to take down the Mavericks in this series?
What do I think? What?
The real key. Why the Celtics would beat the Mavericks in this series. What do you think of the key factors? Give me like maybe 1 or 2. If you say, look, this is why I think.
The key factors of why I think that they will come out on top.
Yes, ma'am.
1, defense. 2, they just have great shooters that can just shoot the lights out. They play very smart ball together. They've been playing together longer. I mean, there's so many keys that I just see. And when they get in their rhythm, I really just think that they're unstoppable. And I think that all of those things will come together. But defense is key, and shooting the lights out. I just think they're more of a balanced team together as a whole unit.
Yeah, I think you talk about defense. I think the key addition for them was bringing over Drew Holiday from Milwaukee. You know, because he's an outstanding defender. We saw him like that against the Hawks. But like I said, for me, the biggest thing is I think that Jason Tatum is a man on a mission. I think he's just, tired of being, like you said, thought of a guy can't perform on the big stage. Another thing too is Jaylen Brown. He's playing lights out. I mean, that guy looks like, he was shocked he won the MVP. He said, hey, man, normally I never don't win anything. So I think the two of these guys are really going to combine for the Celtics to be able to do the job. That's for me. I think even more so than defense. I just think that those two guys are just said, hey, it's our time. This is the second time in 3 years we've been here, and we're not going home without the championship. Tyrone, any special reason why you think the Celtics are the team to beat?
You know what? I'll just be general for either team. Because just because one team is picked to win, sometimes it don't add up like that. That's why you play the game, as Herm Edward would say. And I know we talk about basketball, but I'm just talking about the actual principle that anybody can win, right? So back when I think the Patriots played the Rams, it was written up. It was a mismatch, on the paper. But once I get out there and play the game, it was a totally different thing. So all I'm saying is in this NBA Finals, I think one of the keys is just going to be transition basketball, right? Whoever gets the opportunity, how do you translate that into points? Because there are going to be some mistakes made, right? And I think basically defense, as Tree alluded to, defense is always going to put your offense in the best way to score points. And when your offense get the ball, you got to feed whoever is hot, whoever has the hot hand. So that's why basketball is one of them games that it can go either way sometimes. If you get that hot hand, then you can shoot that thing from anywhere. And sometimes the person that is supposed to have a hot hand is almost like they got a lid on top of the rim, and the ball will not go in. So again, it's whoever shows up to play. And I think that's, how it's going to end up determining the winner. But Boston, they should have a check mark on majority of when it comes to comparison of the team. So a lot, that's why everybody going Boston. But again, the game is played on the court.
Tree, what's Todd saying now?
Todd said, if Luka leads the team to a ring and is MVP, how bad does that trade look? It looks very bad, Todd.
Yeah. Listen, this thing got so much heat. Trey's dad came on and talked about, oh no, he had no shot at going to Dallas and da 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 da. One more comment from Todd. Then we're going to a break, and then we're going to talk some Atlanta Falcons football. What's he saying there? Is that the same one?
That's the same one, yes.
Well, then that's it, boys and girls. We're going to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to talk Falcons football with you know who. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, and thank you.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports. We want to get your feedback about my participations in the show, so please leave comments. So stay tuned, the Real Talk Sports Show is coming up.
All right, guys, we're back here at the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm the Minister Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me is the champion, Tyrone Poole. And right next to him is the queen, Miss Tree Dolman. Well, boys and girls, it's that time. It's time to talk about the NFL, but more importantly, the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to bring a gentleman on that you guys are very familiar with. He is the embedded beat writer for AJC Sports for the Falcons. He is an award-winning journalist, and he is Esquire par excellence. The one and only D. Orlando Ledbetter is back in the building. D-Led, welcome back, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Reverend Tree, and everybody, and Tyrone. Appreciate it.
Hey, D-Led.
All right, let's get right to it. Tree, do you have any questions for D-Led?
Yes, please fill us in. Tell us what's been going on with the Falcons at training camp.
Well, this OTAs this week we were back out there, but before that, last week I was named the Bill Nunn Award winner by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I'll be going into the writers' wing in August in Canton. So that was a pretty big deal for us. And I want to come on, thank you. Want to come on, thank you all and all the listeners that have been reading and commenting and taking in our coverage and content. So appreciate that. But yeah, just like everybody else, you want to know, hey, what's going on defense? After all the dust settled with the quarterback stuff, it's like, okay, how are they going to be able to, stop people or at least slow them down? So we did a story with Richie Grant, who's fighting for his career. AJ Terrell, who was back in action after an injury, and they've got a lot of question marks on that side of the ball right now.
All right, Tyrone, you're the defensive specialist. Got any questions or comments for D-Led?
Congratulations, D-Led, on your induction, first and foremost. Well, I've got a couple of questions. Bijan Robinson, they're saying that basically they plan to use him like Christian McCaffrey. What does that kind of look like? We know how the Panthers and the 49ers utilized him. Is that kind of like in the same way that the Falcons are going to try to use Robinson?
Yeah, he brought it up. He said that's what they were trying to do. And it was interesting to me that said, hey, they're going to run outside zone, but they also have other running systems and schemes in place. So they can go outside zone, then they can switch it and go gap power, run some man, do some different things, traps and pulls. So, the Shanahan and the Sean McVay offense are pretty similar. So really for the Falcons fans, they got to just go back and look at Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman and how Shanahan used those two gentlemen. So Bijan will be getting more of a run workload, according to him, and still be able to do some things in the passing game.
Kirk Cousins, what is the NFL punishment? What are they thinking? What do you think?
Yeah, I just checked in with the league today, Tyrone. They said officially it's still under review. Hey, they was like, hey, don't call us, we'll call you type of thing. So one of their main guys is on vacation this week, and one of the Falcons' main guys, Terry Fontenot, is on vacation this week. So I don't think this week is the week. I think they hold it till after the mini camp next week. Before everybody goes into the off season, they'll know and break it down either right there or hold it to right before training camp. It's going to be a penalty. Usually there's a penalty involved with tampering and a draft pick. This case is much similar to me to the Jeremy Maclin case when he went from the Eagles to the Chiefs and they lost a third-round pick. It's not the Stephen Ross, Tom Brady deal where, they were meeting at the dock and making secretive phone calls trying to lure, Tom Brady to the Dolphins and so forth. So I don't think they're in danger of losing a one, but, a third-round pick's pretty high commodity for a team that's trying to rebuild and get back to the relevancy level in the league.
Last question for you, D-Led. The Falcons just claimed offensive lineman Andrew from the Patriots. Is he a cap body or is he someone they're looking to bring in to solidify the offensive line?
Yeah, he sounds like a camp body, 7th-round pick, Andre Stuber, 6'5", 318. So that's a little small. Played some right tackle at Michigan from Connecticut, so he could move a little bit. But the best he could be would be like the 5th or 6th tackle right now. Maybe he's a developmental guy. He's 7th-round pick. The Falcons also had another right tackle from Michigan that they took in the third round. It didn't turn out to be that good. The kid that has gone to the Giants from Grand Rapids, Michigan. But yeah, that's the book on him. And if he's playing, a whole lot has gone wrong.
Well, thank you, D-Led. Again, congratulations to you.
Thank you, Tyrone. Appreciate it.
Let's go back to social media here. Tree, what do we got from Todd? He's got a question, I think, for D-Led.
Todd said, D-Led, Falcons fans banned from camp. I heard it's one building they working on, and they working inside. Seems to me they want to control the narrative. No drama when they see Penix spinning it.
Yeah, I've been a big advocate for fan access to the facility, so they I got a special meeting with the president to go over the reasons why they're doing it. There's a lot of equipment out there. He might be right about the inside because the weight room looks pretty much done. And Mr. Greg Beatles told me that the construction work will be done, but all this equipment will still be on the premises. So, I mean, if I'm them, I don't want to get sued for a fan wandering off and getting, injured by one of them cranes or something out there. So I understand it, and I take them at their face value. They do have 2 super duper opportunities for the fans to see them at the new high school out in Gwinnett and down in Atlanta at the Bend. So, those are 2 opportunities. Yeah, you won't have 20 opportunities, but I think across the league is you're seeing a cutback in this spring training camp access. The Rams are all the way open. Kansas City, I didn't do my inventory this year because I knew the Falcons weren't going to be doing much, but I try to track that so I have the story online. I can say, oh, they had 18 days in 2015. Now we're down to 6 days. Now they're down to 2. They can, put an asterisk by because of the construction, but we are seeing a trend of the access to training camp going the wrong way. So we'll stay on top of that and, let the teams and the PR staff and the league office know that the fans' access is being limited. And a lot of times that's the only time some people can go see the team. They can't afford the tickets, but they can go to practice. And, so sometimes that might be the only time they can see the team in person, and they're trying to cut that out. So we got to keep fighting for the fans on that. That's who we work for in this whole thing.
I think we have another question here from Todd. Go ahead, Tree.
Last question. What's the win total this year? Are we winning the South?
I know I went out there last year. I was in the 11-12 group with I think Bradley went 12. But I mean, something didn't work there. I was driving around the day. I'm like, man, how'd they beat Green Bay and Houston? They beat Green Bay and Houston. And then I'm like, how do you do that? And then you lose to Tennessee and Minnesota and Carolina. So, you got to be consistent. So if you could beat Green Bay and Houston, we weren't sleeping on Houston. It was early in the season. We didn't know they were a playoff team at that point, but it was still a good team, and they beat them. So same thing with Green Bay. They got better. So Tyrone knows this. As the season goes on, your team has to get better and more consistent. And the Falcons didn't do that. They were all over the place. But they showed how good they were when they beat the Colts. They pounded them like week 15. Okay, now you need to do that the next week. And they could never do that. So, some of that's coaching and some of that's players. I put a lot of it on the players because, Tyrone knows the good teams are led by the players. Coaches' schemes are good enough to win every week. They're not going to draw up stuff that you can't do. So, the players got to be a little bit better, a little bit more consistent, and, execute what the coaches put before them. And Raheem, I'm pretty sure is going to put a good plan out there. Hey, now go execute it. So I put it on the players to go and turn this thing around. And I do believe Raheem will have a plan for them to do that. So
Yeah, seems
let's
like it,
about
man.
10 wins. All of that for 10 wins, maybe 11 again.
Big Tom's got one more question for you. Oh, it's not a question, it's a comment. He's just saying, what's he saying, Tree?
He said, "Congrats, by the way, D-Led."
Well, thank you, Ty. We really appreciate your fandom and keeping us in line here when I come on the show.
Yeah, he sure does. Yeah, Todd don't pull no punch. He should keep me in line too. Got me. He's even got a nickname from me called Jay Slice. And I told him that's fine except on the greens. We're good. Anyplace else, we're good. But yeah, man. So let me just circle back for a second to this whole thing with Bijan, and I think you touched on a little bit about how the Falcons really have this two-headed monster. But it seems to me people have just forgotten about Tyler Algiers. I mean, he was a guy that, and of course it lasted only 1 year. This is a guy that came in as a rookie and rushed for 1,000 yards. I remember that unbelievable 10-play run-only drive where he was just a beast. And there were times last year when the Falcons needed tough yardage. Algiers was really the guy, especially running between the tackles. How are the Falcons, do you think, going to integrate him into the system where you have his running saying, I think I can get 2,000 yards or be like Christian McCaffrey?
Well, yeah, I think that, they kind of got to use both of them, and it's a run blocking line. They're not dropping back 40 times a game. They're just not. So there's plenty of touches for both of those guys to whether up their screens or draws or counters, straight power. This is going to be a running football team, and Kirk Cousins will be able to throw off of that. So I think there's room for Algier, and we know my favorite stat on him is his yards after contact. He doesn't go down. The first guy is a poor soul. He's catching it. He got to hold on and wait for his teammates to come help him out. So you can always find snaps for a guy like that, and I'm sure that Zach Robinson and Coach Raheem and TJ Yates and them will do that. It's got to be built around the run. I mean, I know you paid a lot of money for the quarterback, but you just paid for him to be accurate on 3rd and 2 when they're tired of you pounding them in the run game. You didn't pay for him to be Dan Marino. You paid for him to be Kirk Cousins, game manager extraordinaire with the rushing attack.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that this team really kind of reminds me a lot of what they did both in the Super Bowl year and in 2012. Having this, you having some real stud running attack and then play action teams to death. So, I mean, I'm thinking really this should be, I've been on the 10-win bandwagon for a while. I think with Kirk Cousins, they should at least be able to get to 11. And I think they should be able to win the NFC South.
Well, that means that defense got better, and Grady Jarrett made it all the way back, and they was able to linebackers was able to make some plays.
Speaking of defense, who have you seen? Well, I know it's too early really to say, but I mean, who do you think is going to be the key guy for them if Grady, in fact, comes back to be at least 95% of what he was? Who would be the other guy besides him and Jesse Bates that you would say, hey, this guy, if he's an impact player, the Falcons defense should be stout next year?
Yeah, well, that guy is Arnold Ebiketie, Reverend. He's the kid that's flashed a little bit from Temple and Penn State, from Cameroon, went home this summer to Africa, and got a hero's welcome. But that's the guy who is flash, and Tyrone knows that, when guys flash, the coaches are like, hey, we need to see that every game. I don't need to see that every other game. So if this guy could somehow go, couple sacks, couple pressures, back-to-back game, get going, then people start scheming to him. That might open up some other stuff. But he's the guy. He's clearly the guy. Him and Troy, the three guys that had to step up on defense last year were him, Troy Anderson, and Richie Grant. He kind of did a little bit, but I need to see a bit more. Troy didn't. He got hurt, and Richie Grant didn't. He got beat by tight ends all season long. And, that's a whole story on how they got to use his aggressiveness for the good. And, they got to teach him how to do that. But it's clearly Evan Katie. The kids they drafted, you never count on rookies. Dorless is the one I like. Trice is a try-harder guy. The Notre Dame guy, they're going to make tackles. They're going to be in the right spot. But it's clearly to me. And then Rook, Rook's just going to be a grinder in there behind Grady and Ayumata. If he's playing a lot, something went wrong. So with the vets, but he'll be in the rotation. But clearly the guy that could, go, that's got a chance, it looks like he got a chance to go to the next level is Arnold Ebiketie.
One last question. Speaking about defense and a guy that has potential. The kid on Ohio State shows some flash. I think it's that Zach Harrison, I think, if I got the name right.
Yeah.
The guy there, but if he can find next year, he could be a load.
Yeah, that's just it. He never showed it though at Ohio State. But yeah, last year we liked what we saw him late in the season. So now, yeah, he's a guy. Okay, we're gonna give you these 10, 15 snaps. Go do something. They didn't bring back Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree for a reason. They saw enough that maybe this kid can do it. So yeah, if he can get out there, I don't know how he plays in the 3-4 though. I don't know where he's a 4-3 in. That they drafted for a 4-3, then they go back to a 3-4. So I don't know if you're gonna have him playing outside linebacker and dropping, or you're gonna have him trying to set the edge with Grady, and I don't know who's gonna be on the nose. It's little stuff we gotta find out about how they're gonna attack up front. They might get in there and be like, hey, we don't have a 3-4 front. We gotta play a 4-3 till we get the troops in here. Yeah. Yep. So sometimes you can say you're a 3-4 team, but you might end up, just playing defense, playing with the players you got on the board.
Tree, any more questions for D-Led or comments for D-Led?
I just want to say congratulations again. I'm so happy for you, so proud of you. Keep up the great work. You are truly one of the best in the game, and I'm so happy that you have this wonderful award to just show it.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Tree, and you keep up your great work and your pageantry and gracing the world with your knowledge and beauty.
Thank you.
Tyrone Poole, how about you? Any final questions for D-Led or comments for D-Led?
Well, I got a question pretty much for D-Led to definitely get his professional opinion, but it's also a question for everybody. Do the Kansas City Chiefs become the first team to pull the trifecta? Now, the last team, I got to say this, the last team that could have done it could have been the New England Patriots.
Yeah, you were.
They gave a game away, gave a bonus to the Philadelphia Eagles. But if you remember, I hate to bring it up, 34 started out with the 34-28 Super Bowl over the Falcons, and then they lost to the Eagles, which I believe was a lot of controversy, turmoil that was happening that year. Philadelphia ended up winning, but they came back and beat the Rams. So now you got the Chiefs. Chiefs. I just love that stadium. You ever been to Kansas City? You hear that, man, it'll just make you just go wild. But anyway, Kansas City beat Philadelphia. They just beat the 49ers last year. They brought in a super fast receiver to kind of help get over the top. Maybe that opened up Kelsey, and they still got Mahomes. And as long as the defense can keep the offense in position. So my question, again, does Kansas City pull the trifecta? What you think, D-Led?
Yeah, I certainly think, your conventional wisdom is no, they can't do it because, it's just too tough. And nobody's been able to do it in the modern free agency era. So you say no. But then when you look at their moves, they got Chris Jones back to anchor their defense. Spagnola's been calling great stuff for the last couple years out there. And Andy's going to figure out a way to get the offense going. I'm surprised they didn't bring Eric Bieniemy back. But, they got it going through Kelsey. The Rice kid's in trouble. He's got to get some things straightened out. He came on and helped them out a lot last year. But, yeah, you got to think that, even when you look at how tough the AFC is, some of their main competitors have taken a step backwards. The Bengals, we don't know if Joe's wrist is going to be okay. The Bills had to get rid of a lot of guys. and for maybe a subtraction by addition by subtraction with Diggs. But yeah, and then the NFC North is, that's Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and the Bengals going at it, knocking each other off. So, somebody's going to clear the path for somebody. It might be the Chiefs if they can get that top seed and get them other teams to, maybe have to play an extra game and knock each other out. But yeah, I don't think they have to worry about anything in their division yet. And then the AFC South, that was up for grabs last year, and that'll be up for grabs and in play again. And Jacksonville, maybe they can do it. Tennessee's got too much to overcome. So yeah, and then the coach and Richardson, keep an eye on them too. But yeah, that AFC's are going to be a monster, but I don't see any reason why they can't get it. Get the three-peat.
I'll be interesting next year, and we'll get a chance to see them live and in person because I think they play against the Falcons here, don't they?
Yeah, Sunday night game, second game of the season. We'll see the early version of them. And Detroit got right on them last year, right, Miss Tree? Early in the season, the Lions did their thing, and that built up the confidence for them to carry on and have a good season. So, you don't want to go on. You're gonna go in that game, give them your best shot. That's for sure.
No doubt. Well, I'm excited to see what the Falcons are going to do this year. They finally make me look good and not have everybody mocking me. So hopefully, this year, 12 to 11 wins. But one thing we do, we want to make sure, folks, that before we sign off, that you know how to find, how to follow, and to stay in contact with all of our guests and co-hosts. So, you know how we do it. D. Orlando Ledbetter. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Reverend. You can find everything on ajc.com, the Cover 9 blog every Wednesday at 9, the Bowtie Chronicles podcast every Wednesday in the off season. And you could also find us on the Twitter/X at DOrlandoAJC and on the gram at DOrlandoLed. Thank you so much for having me. You all have a great evening and the rest of the summer here.
You too.
D-Led, congratulations to you, sir. Well deserved.
All right. Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
There we go.
All right, Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Just very quick and simple. TyronePoole38.com. TyronePoole38.com. Appreciate it, Jonathan. Good to see you guys. Tree, blessing to you and everybody, all the viewers. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you.
Tyrone, appreciate you and for keeping us with the proper mindset at all times. Tyrone Poole.
I love that background.
Mystery Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. You can find me on social media, mainly Instagram, because I don't use X and or Twitter any longer. But you can find me on social media, Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International 2022.
Queen has spoken. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. As I mentioned to you each and every week, I am, in fact, a real live minister, so I want to encourage you. First of all, before I get into that, make sure to follow us on social media. Follow the show at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You can follow me personally at Minister J. Sim, and that's on all social media platforms. And if you have a compelling sports story, or if you have a young person, or you can even be a little older, that wants to get involved in the world of sports talk, radio, and TV, hit me up. Send me an email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or you can text me at 678-410-9833. Before I let you go, I just want to remind you, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him today. Nobody loves you like Jesus, not your mom, not your grandmom, not your auntie, not your BFF, none of those folks, because none of them did this. None of them died for your sins, and none of them rose from the dead. So that if you repent of your sins and believe in him, two great things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything that you need or desire. According to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, you go to that most spectacular place ever created. That place is called heaven. What is none of the following? No pain, no pandemic, no bad people. You never get old. You never get sick. You never die. You never have any more pain at all. And it never gets dark because the glory of God illuminates the entire kingdom. And you avoid that nasty place called hell. All the things I just mentioned won't be there in hell. And you'll spend all your time with the devil, all those demons, and all the worst people in the world. But most of all, you cut off from God, from Jesus Christ, and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time we get back together again, you know how we simply say to you, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care.